Hello, welcome to Listen In. I'm Kay.
I'm Alexis.
I'm Jesse.
We're having trouble with remembering order today, and we are Listen In, as I already said, the only YouTube uploaded live stream podcast, something. We're something, that's for sure. I actually was describing us to a friend, and I realized we're like a book club for music, so now that's how I describe this. I hadn't thought about that before, but I was really excited. Anyway, we're here to listen to some music. We've already heard a song from Forrest Claudette today, and then also a song from Olivia Dean. So if you're just tuning in, catch those on YouTube. They should already be uploaded if you're watching this uploaded on YouTube, but if not, scroll back through the live stream or something. You'll figure it out. I am sure you are capable and possible. That wasn't English. We're good. We're moving on to a song. I brought a song today. I'm super excited to share this artist today. It's an artist I've had on my list to share since I came up with this idea of Listen In, and we started sort of brainstorming how it was going to work. But I've been waiting for the right moment. Felt like I needed to give this artist the perfect moment, and there are no perfect moments in life. So today is the perfect moment. I don't know why. It just felt right. So here we are. That artist is called Blee. That's Blee. And they are a Korean band. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about them. There's not a lot of information available, as is often the case. But I do have a little bit of background still on their music and my relationship to it. So I was first introduced to Blee through one of their songs. A friend sent me a YouTube link to one of the songs off the EP, Separated Thoughts, from January of 2021, and I loved it. But my friend was like, I can't find this artist on Spotify. I can't find them on Instagram. I don't know where they exist, but I want more of this. So of course I, nicknamed Google Girl, did some researching, and I was able to find both their Instagram and their Spotify. Listened to this EP on repeat for probably close to a week because I just love the vibes so much. It's the kind of music that I fall back on when I'm having a hard time, or just in a crappy mood, or just can't figure out what else to listen to, or feeling anxious. It's sort of it's very warm and comforting to me. So I hope that it will be similar for you all. The song we're going to listen to today is called Out in the Dark. For me, I think it's the highest energy maybe on the album, on the EP, and is also I don't know, they're all kind of similar in vibe and style, but it's the one that I just really love. I just think it's really catchy and fun, so I hope you're going to love it. On this EP, there are two members of Blee. One is Hanbi, she's the lyricist and singer, and one is Haku, the arranger and producer. They've since added two more members to Blee, and they released one more song in July of 2021. That song is titled Summer's Way. But we haven't heard anything from them since. So no new music since July of 2021, and also no updates to their Instagram or anything in the last couple of years, I think. So I hope that they're doing well. I do know that Hanbi, the singer, has a successful solo career. She's currently based in New Zealand. So if you like her vibe and you like her voice, definitely it's worth checking out some of her solo stuff as well. It leans actually a little more chill than Blee does, but it's still just really lovely to listen to. So we're going to listen to a song called Out in the Dark by Blee, of the members Hanbi and Haku. Let's go.
The clouds, just thinking about what we ought to be. Why don't we get up? We snooze the alarm, but we stay in bed till late. Did it work out? Read the paper sign, or the pillows in the sky. Read the big sign, the sign by the grass where we lay find a way? I found nothing more, just like us in the dark. Is it time? Why did you call me? Baby, it's 3 in the morning. Or maybe you miss me. I promise we'll talk in the morning sun. Why did you call me? Baby, it's 3 in the morning. Or maybe you miss me. I promise we'll talk in the morning sun. Baby, we'll talk in the morning. We'll talk. Does it make sense? Is it dark? Really dark.
Does it make sense? Is it dark?
Really dark.
Really dark.
Let's talk
It's
about
3 in the
it.
morning. Too late. It's 4 in the afternoon. That's kind of close.
It's morning for me.
That's fair. Oh no.
You're somehow
You're not
still
frozen
speaking.
for me.
Uh,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You're
There we go.
resetting. Anyway,
back.
what do you think of Blee?
Blee. Cool name.
they fill me with glee.
I
You formed
believe
A
you.
Blee club.
Ah, good one. Yeah, I have no idea where the name comes from. No clue. I have no context.
Maybe they're
I find
like
it kind of
half a sheep.
interesting.
Bleed, not bleeding.
Yeah.
Yikes. I will say
No,
Blee is
bleed.
really
No,
hard
bleed.
to find.
He said bleed. He didn't say bleed. He said
It
bleed.
sounded like
With a
bleed.
T.
Bleed.
Bleed.
But Blee is really hard to find because everything autocorrects to bleed.
Oh.
Like even Spotify, just searching for Blee, they do not come up. You have to type in like Blee and then one of their song names. It's pretty annoying, but it might explain why they have like only 257 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Uh-huh.
Which hurts my feelings.
Mm. We know that struggle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you
I
mean
know.
listening? No.
Seems like a lot of people searching for this band art out in the dark,
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, they are hard to find. Anyway, thoughts on the song? Any feedback? Any ideas? Anything that popped out at you?
I find it pretty interesting on the kind of like accidental lyrical connections going on with the songs today. We have like this whole darkness mood going on with the last song, and Forrest Claudette talks about the darkness of life in a way. This song talks about calling, and there was calling going on in the Olivia Dean song, so we kind of like managed to mastermind these connections, it seems.
At least Forrest is visible in the dark.
Yeah. Very highly visible.
Only when they smile.
Uh-huh.
Which could be a little creepy. You just see teeth shining at you from in the dark.
Uh-huh.
So,
Um,
an interesting. No, go ahead.
as to the music, I thought it was really interesting. Like it's definitely, there's things where I'm like, I've heard this before, but like not in this combination. Like the guitar arpeggiations. I think just like the choice of distortion felt very 80s rock to me. But then you have this sort of chill, I guess I would describe it as like lo-fi vocals.
Mhm.
And I think part of that lo-fi-ness to me is like it sounds low energy. It sounds very like
Mm.
chill and relaxed, and I think also like a little
Mhm.
mumbly.
Mhm.
So like they don't feel like putting the energy into like really enunciate, but like it's a cool dynamic of having that like higher energy guitar with that low energy
Mhm.
vocal. And it's working for me. Like it's just like,
Mhm.
oh, this is a feel good sort of vibe.
I've heard Hunby's vocals related to Clairo, the artist.
Mhm.
I don't I don't know if I heard that, but I've read it in a couple of like write-ups about her solo music. I wonder if you hear that here at all. That makes sense to anybody else.
I like now that I'm thinking of Claro, I can see kind of like how aesthetically it kind of
Mm.
matches stylistically in a way. I think for me, because of just like the amount of like Korean music I listen to, I felt like I was attaching her voice more to like other Korean artists. Like I was thinking,
Mhm.
like for some reason, it's giving me like shades of like Full Four a lot
Mm.
with kind of like
Mm.
the color of the tone. Um,
Mm.
so I was thinking more of like along those lines than I was thinking of like Claro or other indie artists in that sort of realm.
Interesting. Hmm. And I was sort of attributing some of the mumbliness to I don't know. I think she's based in New Zealand now, but I think she's originally from Korea. So I
Mm,
assumed English is not her first language. I also
mm,
assumed that she has more of an accent that is not, she does not have an American accent likely
mhm,
when she speaks English.
mhm,
And so I was attributing some of what I hear as sort of the mumbliness to that. Well,
mm,
I also, some of it's also the mix. So I actually like wrote up the lyrics on Genius too,
mhm,
like Alexis did for his song because I couldn't find them. And I had to like mess with the equalizer a lot to be able to pull out her voice. But her
mm,
voice, where it sits, is very clear. It's just like muddied by everything else around it.
mhm,
For me, that makes it for like really good. First of all, the lyrics are like very cute and sweet. They aren't like super deep and meaningful. I don't need them to be. That's not a complaint, but I don't really need to hear them. And so I'm
mm.
kind of happy for them to be a little bit buried and to be getting that tone of her voice and the feeling behind the rest of the instrumentation. I don't remember what Second of All was.
Um, there are some parts of the song where like she says talk and she's like talk singing at those moments, and I
Mm,
thought that was fun.
mm,
Mhm,
mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah, I hear that.
and mentioning production, like I think it was like it's not bad production, but it's also not like super polished either.
mhm,
Like it doesn't like the individual singer and instruments don't like pop really, so
Mm-hmm.
you do have to
mhm,
concentrate a little more if you're trying to solo some of these things out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I did think it was kind of interesting that the drums were full stereo. So like
Mm-hmm.
different like hits were like happening in different parts of my ear. So
mhm.
That is, I hadn't noticed that. That is really odd. Did you all pick out the second little guitar arpeggio that's happening in the like the last chorus? I think it's
No.
after the guitar solo. There's actually like a on top of that
Mhm,
like Zelda fairy fountain thing
mhm,
happening. Like aggressive Zelda fairy fountain.
mhm,
There's also a little going on, but it's really
mm,
far back in the mix. It's like really you have to pick it
mm,
out to hear it. But it was an interesting touch, I thought, because
mhm,
otherwise the production is fairly repetitive. It keeps a vibe. It does a thing and it does that thing very well and it does
mhm,
it for the whole song.
mhm,
But they do add in a little bit of flair.
mhm. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Mm.
Has me interested to check it out. I think the only thing that I really kind of like paid attention to that stood out to me was like the microsecond that there's like a like very brief bass riff that happens right before the second verse. It's just this little
Yep.
yep. And I was like, I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Nice touch. Cool. Yeah, it definitely is very like indie pop rocky in its vibe. And this is probably the rockiest song off of the EP. The rest are a little chiller and a little less aggressive maybe. That arpeggio can be a little aggressive, but it's a little less so. But they are also very, very like chill sounding. It makes for really great background type music. For not like that you can ignore it, but it just like it makes for it doesn't punch you in the face at any moment where you're like, oh my god, I need to focus on this music. It's really great like thought processing music in a way. And I'm really thankful for it. There's definitely been some days that like Blee has gotten me through my workday because I don't know if I was gonna make it through without it.
Yeah, and we also got another guitar solo, on the show. I'm wondering what the tally is. I feel like Kay's probably leading in terms of guitar solos on the show.
I have some
might
half
be.
guitar solos that Kay complained about. Yeah.
Sorry. That's fair.
Yeah, I think this was a really fun song. I think when I first listened to it, it was a blind listen, so it was just the song itself, and it's kind of like getting into its vibe and mood. And I really like the rough production. I really like the choice that they made for like the guitar solo. I like how just rough it is. It's not like a really clean recording of it, so it's not like just cutting through the song, and that kind of like painted the song in this sort of like emotional space in a way, because I was just kind of like picking out some of the lyrics and what the general vibe of the song is. But then when I did a lyrical listen, I thought the song was really interesting and fun, and I feel like through the various songs that Kay has brought onto the show, especially like songs like iMessage, like I feel like I've just been conditioned to feel like the songs can a lot of the times not be taken at face value, and I was almost thinking of it more of like, is this like from the perspective of a pet? So like, you know, the way that they were describing like the day and what the environment was and looking at the signs and things like that, I was like, are we like a dog or a cat or something?
Those might not actually be the lyrics. It took me that second half of that first verse was very difficult to pick out the actual words to. So it's also very possible there's nothing about signs in there.
I mean,
That was my best attempt.
I was reading through it and it felt very accurate to me. So I will say, to your credit, it does really read like it's probably coming from the perspective of a pet rather than an actual human being, which is kind of interesting, because it's like I'm thinking of like, yeah, this at first listen like it,
Why
like,
did
like,
you call
tell
me from the other room?
Yeah.
Somebody's like, Rover, come.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe the person isn't calling from a phone, and maybe it's like a pet barking at them or something. It's like, why are you trying to wake me up at 3 a.m? Let me go to sleep. Maybe you miss me. I was like, oh, that's cute.
I thought it was somebody calling for the pet at 3 a.m, and the song was the pet singing. Why are you calling me?
Yeah.
It's 3 a.m.
Yeah. Let me
We'll talk
sleep.
in the morning, sun.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah. But yeah, I think like that kind of like just whether it is from that perspective or not, I find it just very fun and cute. I like that about this song. Have you watched the video?
I think once, but it's been a long time.
There's cats in the video, so
It is fully self-made by Hanbi.
yeah.
It literally just says video Hanbi.
Yeah.
So they're very, very indie, like self-produced,
Yeah.
self-created.
I was watching the video and I was like, this is very filmed on an iPhone sort of video, and I liked it. I liked the energy. I liked just how DIY it is, and I think it matches the energy of the song. It's a really fun song. I like it.
It's charming, and I think that
Yeah.
like whole DIY aspect for like the video, like you said, and for the production, just makes you feel, I guess, a little more connected to the artist. Is it like it's like I really like what you're doing. This is fun. I hope you do well, and like this is, and you feel like you're kind of in the studio with them, trying to make this, you know, a good piece of art. And I think they did that even with their limitations, which is you know, charming, like I said.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope they are doing well. And it's been what, 2 years since anything. So yeah, hopefully they're doing well, and no rush if they aren't working on anything. But it would be really cool to see what they follow up with.
They do have one release after the EP, and I think that's with 2 additional members for a total of 4. That song's called Separated. No, I'm sorry. That song's called Summer's Way. It's also very good. And that's their July 2021 release. So if you wanted a little bit more Blee, we have that for you in addition to this EP. Their 2 releases prior to that are also on the EP, but the EP it's called version 2. And I will say, like, if you want to see some growth in production, I feel like that's a really good example of it. Their first releases of those 2 songs, Dip and maybe Panorama. I might have made up that second one. One of them's definitely Dip. The first one feels much more garagey, whereas I think the EP actually has a lot more polish than those. Like I mentioned, Hanbi is doing solo work. She's currently based in New Zealand, releasing music and doing very well. She's definitely had some articles written about her. She's got a lot of releases, so you can keep up with Hanbi for sure. I went looking for Haku and I couldn't find him. Like the link, what I assume would have been his Instagram link from the Blee Instagram does no longer work. So I hope you're out there living a good life, whatever that looks like for you now. But thanks, Blee, for making the music that you did make.
Yeah.
Cool. Love Blee.
Love Blee.
Love Blee.
You want to do listener submissions next episode? Because we were talking about it.
We could.
Yeah.
Y'all want to do that?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, cool.
So if you're watching, listening, whatever, go to our Discord, and I think we'll make a new channel for submissions. So try not to flood us. Just please, like, just give one or flood us 2, maybe 2 submissions as options.
We're gonna choose at random.
We're gonna choose at random,
but like not if not if you like, if you give us like 20, we're just gonna choose like a couple out of the 20
randomly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do that, and we'll kind of. I think the idea was we're gonna lightning round it a little bit, so maybe try to get more than 3 in next episode, and we'll just see how things go.
Any much music. I'm excited.
See how things go is our usual MO, so.
Yeah.
Cool. Drop your suggestions in our Discord. You could also put them in the comments of a YouTube video. I think we'll pull them from there too, because not everybody has Discord. Or maybe I'll remember that social media exists and we'll post there, and you can reply to the social media with your suggestions. But if you send the same song in 3 different places, that is not going to increase your chances. We will count that as one submission, or maybe disqualify you. We'll see how mean I'm feeling. If I'm feeling kind of mean, I might disqualify you, so don't do that.
Kay is not necessarily the meanest, but the most capable of being mean. I don't know.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
The most capable.